Auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
From the pages of the Elgin newspapers of 100 years ago today, these are the headlines brought to you by the Elgin History Museum.
This is Linda Rock sharing stories that were in the Elgin Courier News on March 16th, 1926. Radio slander came home today to Elgin with the filing of a request by Superintendent of Schools R.W. Fairchild of Elgin with Superintendent of Schools L.W. Smith of Joliet, asking for a personal apology from the coach Matthew Wyckoff of Joliet High School for alleged derogatory remarks he made against the Elgin basketball team last Friday evening while broadcasting his play-by-play returns of the Elgin-Hinckley sectional tournament game at Joliet. Several times during the contest, announcer Wyckoff said to have passed remarks such as, "Elgin is winning by dirty practices as usual," or "Elgin is only able to win by employing rough tactics." Superintendent Fairchild informed Superintendent Smith of the facts in a letter today, in which he declared that he figured Elgin High School was due a personal apology from Coach Wyckoff. The patient population of the Elgin State Hospital, 2,610, is the lowest it has been in a number of years, R.D. Marsh declared today. Recent transfers of more than 300 patients to the Watertown and Peoria State Hospitals and the Government Hospital at Great Lakes Naval Training Station are responsible for the decrease in the number of patients here. The normal capacity of the local institution is 2,200.
Elgin 100 Years Ago is a presentation of the Elgin History Museum. Be sure to visit the museum located at 360 Park Street in Elgin, open Wednesday through Saturdays 11 to 4. You can also listen to Elgin 100 Years Ago at www.elginhistory.
Hey, welcome in everyone on the Tube of Views. That's youtube.com at WRMN Radio. Just doing a little pre-show shout out to everyone there. Coming up, it's going to be talking about a majority of baseball being right around the corner with the Cubs and Sox. Also, the new eats and, oh my goodness, food stuff over on the south side at the rate with the Chicago White Sox. Going to be talking about the rosters. Going to be talking about the pitching rotation for both the Cubs and the Sox. Might get into a little unbelievables. The unbelievables. Got to set the right levels here on the board just so I could get it going. I know everyone's thrilled with the reverb. But regardless, it's a fun button to play with, and I do enjoy it immensely. What can I say? I'm a unique individual with that. Yes, indeed. Oh my goodness, I'm looking at the food right now. Can't believe we weren't invited for this, but whatever. Gonna be going live in about 10-ish seconds, so I'm gonna cue the music, pot it up, and get ready for another edition of Big Top Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derrick Geyer, your sports czar. The game's the place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big Time Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome in to another edition of Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And yesterday, well, with baseball season being a week away from today, the Chicago White Sox have unveiled their new starting lineup. Not necessarily the starting lineup that you think that I might be talking about, but their new starting food lineup. And before I get into any more sports talk here on WRMN 1410 AM Big Top Sports, don't forget to call in and get your sports takes off at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. And as always, you could see my lovely mug on youtube.com /at WRMN Radio. That's youtube.com /at WRMN Radio. And then with the NCAA March Madness basketball tournament going on currently, WRMN 1410 will be broadcasting all of the Sweet 16 games for the both men's and women's starting in the round of the Sweet 16s here on WRMN 1410 AM. And as I mentioned, baseball season right around the corner. We are also home of the Chicago White Sox in the Fox River Valley, downtown Elgin, and beyond as well. So feel free to mark your calendars. Going to have very exciting games for March Madness going forwards. Forwards? You know, I think I just did it the anyways thing. Forward. We'll have March Madness going forward. No S on that. But I digress. So, yesterday, Chicago White Sox announced new food and beverage offerings for the 2026 season. Now, I know that there's a little bit of a debate amongst Cubs and White Sox fans. You know, me being a Cubs fan, and I freely admit it, but I'm still rooting for the Chicago White Sox to have a good season, a great season. But I'm just going to start off with, what do you think, or as a fan of either the Cubs and or White Sox, or maybe just a fan of Chicago baseball, which stadium do you prefer? Do you prefer the games over there at Wrigley Field in Wrigleyville? Or do you prefer going to games over at the Rate? And me personally, I always enjoyed the games going over there, going on at Wrigleyville. Now, does it necessarily mean that I could, really afford a ticket and the $25 million beers and everything that are going up? I mean, those would be some, I would hope, some very, tasty beers, but I'm not much of a beer guy. However, the ambience over there on Addison, 1060 West Addison, is a much more palatable, or for me anyway, much more palatable to be taking in a game over there at Wrigley Field. Even with, the renovations, modernized it, all that fun stuff. You got the lake in the extreme backdrop. That's always fun. The atmosphere is always lively. But you really have the additions that the Chicago White Sox have made to Wright Field have made it maybe a better viewing experience. You don't have the line of sights to contend with, and or obstructed views, I should say. But even with that, I do prefer to go to a game over at Wrigley Field as opposed to going over there to the Rate. But you actually have parking availability over there at the rate. So that's a plus. You don't have to pay like $60, $70 going down to Wrigley Field and tip them an extra $20 or whatever to get an easy in, easy out access. You know, park in someone's garage, park on someone's lawn, park under the L tracks over there. And now you still need to pay for parking when you go over the rate. They do have tailgating available when you go over to the rate. So that's something. You could load up on your snacks and your brewskis or, you know, your libations, have some tailgating food, which you prepare for yourself, your friends, family that go out there. But one of the things that is or has been lacking over there on Addison, where the Cubs play, Wrigley Field, obviously, are the food items. And by far, the food items at the rate are definitely something that are going to get me at Rate Field and taking in a Chicago White Sox game. Not to mention the fact that, well, it's an easier ticket to get and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. So as I mentioned, the Chicago White Sox announced new food and beverage offerings for the 2026 season. This is an article by SoxOn35th.com, and then you could just search new food and beverage for the 2026 season. So this was written by Joe Binder, Jordan Lazowski, and Brendan Gallion. First off, some of the new food items for the Chicago White Sox at the rate is called the All-Star Lineup. Here, let me click over on the camera feed here. Get it up there, get it on the tube of views. So the All-Star Lineup, it is a sampler size platter of Chicago-style hot dog, charred kielbasa with caramelized onion and mustard, Bona Italian beef with sweet peppers and giardiniera. And to wash it down, well, not really to wash it down, but a bag of Garrett Stadium buttery popcorn. I know that, you know, and you also get some chips in there as well. So that is a nice, interesting thing. You could get that. The location in the stadium is at the Chicago Bites Rotating Portable on the 300 Club level. The next item is the Bridgeport Taqueria. It's barbacoa, chicken tinga, and mushroom al pastor. Street tacos with chopped onions and cilantro. Crispy tortilla chips and elotes. Who doesn't love a good elotes? And this is also available on the 300 level as well. Man, I really need to eat before I start talking about all the different food items and everything because they always look so good. And having partaken in a few of these, well, okay, one, the campfire milkshake, and that is batting next. But it is the Campfire Milkshake 2.0. And the 2026 edition of the viral Campfire Milkshake. This is located at the Topo Chico Hard Seltzer Cantina. It just looks like they revamped it with a little bit more marshmallows. You got the Hershey Kisses bar in there, the chocolate sauce drizzling down the side of the mug there. Big enough for what it looks like 2 people, 2 straws in there. Yeah, baby. You also have chicken and waffles. Damn, that looks delicious. I mean, if you folks out there have never had chicken and waffles, it is the savory, salty, sweet combination right there. Ooh, oh, wow. Yeah, that is. Okay, my mouth is absolutely watering right now taking a look at these awesome photos that they put together. So let's see. It's a Belgian Liege waffle served with house buttermilk, fried chicken, and local honey. That is located in the Stadium Club Bar. But, oh my goodness. Chicken and local honey served with seasonal fresh fruit and DB Kaplan's latkes. Latkes. So you get the chicken, you get the waffle, and then you also get like a potato cake thing. Well, I think that's what the latkes is. Kaplan's latkes. I wonder if that's Gabe Kaplan. But anyway, I digress. Oh. You also have Mrs. Levy's original carrot cake. Oh, I'm going to go into a food coma just looking at all this deliciousness right here. Okay, so Mrs. Levy's original carrot cake. Kaplan's carrot cake with seasonal fresh fruit and cream cheese frosting and toasted coconut. And let me tell you, there is what appears to be like 3/4 of an inch to an inch worth of the frosting, the coconut frosting with the nuts and everything sprinkled in on top of it. And the carrot cake itself, nice, decadent, chocolate looking, black is, not really black as black can be, but my goodness, I got to swallow again because again, I might as well be, the dog with the bell and just, I'm absolutely salivating here looking at all these good, tasty looking items. This particular item, the Kaplan's carrot cake, can be located at DB Kaplan's Express on the 300 Club level as well. Moving on to the roast pork sandwich. Oh man, great googly moogly. It looks like it's served with, so you got the roast pork sandwich. Looks like it's served with a basket or, on a bed of French fries. You've got some nice asparagus on there. Looks like it's nicely sauteed. Pork actually looks like it's pretty juicy in this picture. And on a sesame seed Kaiser roll, just looking at it. I'm sorry. It is seared garlic broccoli rabe, sharp provolone cheese, and au jus sauce on sesame semolina hoagie roll. That is located in the Stadium Club Bar. My goodness, my mouth is just, oh. Next item, Rosie's Barbecue. Now, there are a couple items here, so I'm just going to read it. House smoked pulled pork sliders with coleslaw and crispy onions, kettle chips, and 3 cheese macaroni and cheese. I don't see the macaroni and cheese on there, but you also have what looks like a street walk. So it is, and I can't really tell what the writing is. My eyes are not too good, but I'm going off of the pictures here. But yeah, that looks like a whole heaping helping of deliciousness. I might even go into a food coma looking at all this food right now, and my mouth is just absolutely watering right now. You folks that are watching on the YouTube, you see what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to do this justice here, but my goodness, the street walk looks absolutely amazing. Rosie's Barbecue with the coleslaw in there, mixed in with the pulled pork. It looks like house smoked pulled pork sliders with coleslaw and crispy onions, kettle chips, and 3 cheese macaroni and cheese. Like I said, I don't. Oh, okay. So the macaroni and cheese is the first one. The coleslaw is there. And oh, okay. The kettle chips are in there as well. Oh, that'll savory, salty. Nice. Oh, and of course, well, here's the street walk. The street walk. Wok fried chicken and vegetable lo mein in sweet and tangy sauce. Also available on the 300 Club level. Oh, that looks delicious. All sorts of deliciousness. Why weren't we invited to this? Why wasn't this on Out to Lunch? Why can't we get any of this good stuff in studio here? I don't know. I don't know. And really, I'm salivating here. Sorry, I gotta wipe my lips. Up next, it is the Italian scallion. Oh, I see what they did there. You know, instead of the Italian stallion, it is the Italian scallion. Oh, that is all sorts of Italian goodness right there. Okay, so the Italian scallion is dry cured pepperoni, prosciutto, ham, seasoned lettuce, and tomato with Dusseldorf mustard and scallion on focaccia bread. That is also located at the Stadium Club Bar and DB Kaplan's Express on 300 Club level. So it sounds like if you need to get to any of this all awesome goodiness, well, you might need to go up to the club level or figure out how to get up to the club level. And yeah, let's see. The next one is, hey, yo, it's the Southside Supreme. The Southside Supreme in a nice home plate box. Home plate design box with the cityscape on it. And let me see what it is. It is Beggar's home plate shaped pizza topped with salsa. Salsa? The hell's salsa, you babbling idiot? Take two. It is Beggar's home plate shaped pizza topped with sausage, bona Italian beef, peppers, onions, and giardiniera. And that is also located on the 300 Club level concessions as well. Damn, all these, I mean, these pictures really do paint a mouth-watering picture here. Jeez Louise. And I'm not done. There is this thing called the turkey in slaw. The turkey in slaw? Is that kind of like the in-law? No, probably not. You'd probably much rather have the turkey in slaw than some sort of in-laws. Hey, been there, done that. I mean, no offense to anyone that's married and has to deal with, no offense to anyone that has to deal with in-laws or anything. But okay, so you got the turkey in slaw. My goodness, my mouth won't stop watering here. You got house roasted turkey, applewood smoked bacon, sharp cheddar cheese, Louis dressing. I have absolutely no idea what Louis dressing is, but, and then Mrs. Levy's coleslaw on challah bread. Challah bread? I don't know what it's called. I'm just going to go challah. Hey, holla, challah! And this is also, I mean, great googly moogly. You got the slaw in there, which looks divine. You've got the challah bread, which actually looks pretty tasty. You got it looking like it might be on a bed of fries, also a bed of coleslaw as well. And you got the cheese on top of there, which is the sharp cheddar cheese. Oh, my goodness. And this is located at the Stadium Club Bar and DB Kaplan's Express on 300 Club level. Oh, what else is there? There's also, well, there is no picture here, so I can't salivate anymore, but it looks like there's an Arapia burger. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but it is corn griddle cakes with honey glazed pork belly, sofrito, coleslaw, garlic aioli, and ají sauce. Maybe that's au jus sauce. I'm not exactly sure. But my goodness. And you also got coffee and ice cream and all the other fun stuff, coffee and cream. Oh, crispy wings. They're really doing it up there. Crispy chicken wings and fries. I'm not lying when I'm saying my mouth is salivating. That's why I'm taking the breaths and everything. Crispy chicken wings served with fries, sauces, and dry rubs available. Or I just ran on that sentence. Sauces and dry rubs available. Buffalo, mango habanero, garlic parmesan, and lemon pepper. Not to be mistaken with the lemon pepper steppers. If you know, you know. Then you got the fajita dog. Oh, fajita dog. It is a foot-long Vienna beef hot dog, sauteed onion, sauteed peppers, and avocado crema. At Specialty Hot Dogs in section 113. You also got the various libations and everything, frozen pina colada, strawberry margaritas. I swear I didn't mean this to be a half an hour spent on the food here on Big Top Sports, but my great googly moogly. I just couldn't stop from doing this. And then there's a Korean dog. Get your minds out of the proverbial gutter there. Korean dogs, Papa's Freedom, from Papa's Freedoms. Oh, that looks delicious as well. Vienna beef hot dog, hash browns, and chipotle ketchup. They wrapped it in hash browns. And you can find this in Lucky's in section 154. There's more? Oh my goodness, how many more items are there? Okay, well, I'm going to keep on rolling with this because my mouth is still watering. Hey, you're currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. The White Sox hits continue.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby. Brought to you.
Oh, excuse me out there. I do apologize. Yes, thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Oh, Todd, thank you. I know, right? It should be a paid endorsement. I wish it were a paid endorsement. I mean, the White Sox are on these WRMN airwaves. Someone should be getting paid for something, especially concerned when it's going to be like the Chicago White Sox and everything. But I mean, as you're watching this, does this stuff not look tasty? Is it not appetizing? I mean, great googly moogly. Oh, they got this giant. You know what? I got to move on. I got to move on to this. I got to get back to actual sports topics and stuff. Can't believe we weren't invited to that, or we didn't know enough ahead of time and all that fun stuff. Regardless, how the hell is everyone doing out there? Oh, I know, right? Definitely need to get some sort of vouchers and everything for that. At the very least, getting the food vouchers. When you going up for your trip? Is that a good thing right there? Yeah, I'll pan this down real quick. Y'all don't need me blowing my nose on the radio there. I don't know anything about that, but hey, since you are talking about it on the feed, why the hell not? I don't understand that. Coming back.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland. Football frenzy and hoops so high. Baseball swinging as seasons fly. Hockey blades cutting swift and true. Sports carousel spinning just for you. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And, well, let's see, because couple of one listener, suggested it. Hey, Tennessee native Dylan Nutt won the 2026 Bass Pro Shops Bassmaster Classic in Knoxville, Tennessee, with a 3-day total of 66 pounds, 13 ounces. And the tournament was held on the 13th through 15th of last week. So the Super Bowl of bass fishing. I didn't know that there was a Super Bowl of bass fishing, but hey, it was held at the Outdoors Expo at the Knoxville Convention Center. And yeah, that's where they took off from. Apparently, the runner-up for this was Easton Fothergill at 76 pounds, 15 ounces, which I'm not exactly sure how that works. But regardless, congratulations to one Dylan Nutt. I can't even make it up if I tried. The Chicago Bulls, the Chicago Unbelievables, will be back in action tonight after a disappointing showing, taking on the Memphis Grizzlies this past Monday. Or I'm sorry, let me check that. After taking on the Toronto Raptors yesterday, losing by 30 points, 139 to 109, and the Cleveland Cavaliers are coming to town tonight. Let's see. You also have the Chicago Blackhawks in action as well, part of a home and home. So they lost in overtime to the Minnesota Wild. Welcome back, Nick Foligno. Had a interesting little funny thing between Connor Bedard and Nick Foligno taking the opening faceoff, where apparently Nick Foligno said something to Bedard. Bedard chuckled, backed off, and then got back into the circle and actually won the draw against former teammate Nick Foligno. But the Chicago Blackhawks will be in action tonight up there in Minnesota, taking on the Wild. Puck drop is for 6:30. The odds for that one, since you asked, apparently the Chicago Blackhawks, no surprise for tonight's game, are underdogs with plus 152 to plus 185, and the Minnesota Wild are favored by a minus 164 to minus 245. So we shall see. But yeah. And if you didn't know, you are listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And I was talking all the good eats and everything over on the South Side. They released their food items to the press. Apparently, we're not good enough or cool enough to be a part of that. But definitely go to sockson35th.com where they have all these mouth-watering pics of the items there. And you could see it. There's about a half a dozen more. But, hey, this is a sports show. This wasn't exactly supposed to be Matt McNeil's Out to Lunch segment here. So, with that being said, baseball right around the corner, Chicago White Sox. And their starting rotation a couple days ago, Will Venable came out. And in this article from MLBTradeRumors.com, Anthony Franco wrote, on Irish Day, White Sox manager Will Venable informed reporters, including Mark Feinstein of MLB.com on Tuesday, that the team has finalized its opening day rotation. Opening day starter will be Shane Smith. Now, Shane Smith last year, he had a 2.3 WAR. He was 7-8 with a 3.81 ERA in 29 games started. Pitched 146 and a third innings, 145 strikeouts with a 1.196 ERA. So that's pretty good. I mean, solid opening day starter. Then you also have Sean Burke, Davis Martin, Anthony Kay, and Eric Fetty. Now, unfortunately for the Chicago White Sox, Mike Vasil, he will not be in the starting rotation because he is suffering from an elbow injury, and his season, before it even gets underway, is already done for because he is requiring Tommy John surgery, and that is absolutely no good whatsoever. Then you also have Venable confirming that the lefty Sean Newcomb will be pitching out of the bullpen, and the White Sox also optioned Jonathan Cannon to the AAA club out in Charlotte. So not really much of a surprise there. If Cannon does well enough, he will probably be back on the bullpen or on the roster for the Chicago White Sox going forward. I'm not really sure. But with Newcomb, with Sean Newcomb, he was signed with an eye towards competing for a starting, stop. But with the deal that they made with Fetty. He signed to a $1.5 million deal, and he's most likely going to be possibly in the bullpen as well. As far as, what do we got here? So many tabs open. And one of the things that has happened, you got some may consider surprise roster moves, pitching depth being one of the things that is an issue with this spring training going forward. The high competition for the Chicago White Sox for the 2026 season, the additions of Mooney, whether or not Colson Montgomery can continue to terrorize and just hit absolute bombs with the likes of, but it's to be expected. You have top prospects like Hagen Smith and William Bergola Jr. being sent down to AAA, even though they were highly praised. And then maybe Jared Kelnick making a bid for the roster. That remains to be seen. Obviously, Hagen Smith, he's the number 4 prospect in the pipeline. And William Bergola, the number 11 prospect, were being both reassigned. I think this might just be contract manipulation a little bit. I do believe that they will be coming up eventually sometime this year because, as we all know, starting pitching in general, players in general, they get hurt. They go on the IL for any length of time. You got people with options that'll be coming up, being sent back down because, players that are going to be on the opening day rosters, they're not going to necessarily be on the roster come the end of the season. Let's see. You also have, the veteran additions. Austin Hayes, Jordan Hicks, Munetaka Munetaka. So he's most likely Mooney, Taka, Murakami. Yeah, I think I actually said that right. And I didn't even need hooked on phonics. So with, you call it maybe like a so-so WBC, but then coming back to the team, getting back in the lineup, getting a little bit more acclimated with the team. I do believe that he's going to be, depending on how Munetaka Murakami adjusts to the pitching in Major League Baseball, I do believe that he's going to have a good season, but I want to tap the brakes on the Babe Ruthian, the Japanese style Babe Ruthian-like tag and everything that has come with Mooney. I've said before on other episodes of Big Top Sports that he needs to adjust to the American style of baseball because you got the players, you got lightning bolt arms, fireballers that are throwing in upwards of 95 to 102 miles an hour with accuracy, with the electric sliders, breaking balls, change-ups, with all the movement in the world, and it is up to him to show very on in the season whether or not he can actually handle it. So that'll be something worth keeping an eye on right there. Whether or not right-handed pitcher Jedrickson Paez may or may not make the bullpen, even though, he is a strong candidate, but we'll see how that goes. And then you've also got the catching situation as far as, well, Kyle Teal. He was having a nice run with Team Italia in the WBC before, getting hurt. The hamstring injury that's already been diagnosed at the time, 4 to 6 weeks. So that was 3 to 5 last week. So now it means it's 2 to 4 weeks. So he's still going to be on the IL, and most likely he won't be coming back until probably like the tail end of April or May. I have absolutely no reports or anything to confirm it, but that's kind of where things will be. Next week, I did text, and I have yet to receive a response, but I am hopeful to have Derrick, the showman, on next week. He is the hitting coach for the Chicago White Sox. I do hope to talk with him next week before the start of the season, get his takes on everything, how spring training has gone, how he thought the WBC went. So I'm looking forward to that. As soon as I hear back and get a confirmed date, I will be posting that on the Facebook page here at WRMN and on all the social medias that I currently hold and have. And but yeah, on the other side of this break, I will be getting into the Chicago Cubs and their roster spots and all the players, the pitching rotations and everything that will be taking place, whether or not, Matt Shaw will cut the mustard or be the super utility player or play time in right field. I don't know what's going on there. But, hey, on the other side, that's what's coming up on Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. Back in a bit.
At Britain's Touchless Car Wash, they know life gets busy. That's why they're here 24/7 to keep your car looking spotless, fast, and easy. Their advanced brush-free wash technology delivers a sparkling clean without a single scratch, because they treat your car like it's their own. Here's the best part. Right now, you can get a free car wash just for joining their text club. It's simple. Just text BRITT to 30400, and your first wash is on them. Britain's Touchless Car Wash has 2 convenient locations, 1923 Larkin Avenue in Elgin
Money for the
and
window washer?
555 Willow
Question mark.
in West Dundee. They're proud to keep your car clean while giving back to our community. Text BRITT to 30400. That's BRITT to 30400 now for your free car wash, and see why Britain's Touchless Car Wash is the fast, gentle,
Yeah,
and
those
reliable
pictures were
choice.
absolutely insane.
Ever tried
and
balancing
I
a
was
dozen
not
eggs in
joking
one
when I
hand
said
while
my
hopping
mouth
on
was
one foot?
watering as
Or maybe
I was
juggling cats
looking
while
at
riding
it
a
and talking
unicycle?
about it.
Sounds ridiculous, right?
Exclamation
But
mark.
guess what? That's exactly what texting while driving is like. Your human brain only has the capacity to focus on one thing at a time. So when you're behind the wheel, give driving your undivided attention.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
And welcome back in to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. Now, I know I said on the bottom of the hour, or actually before I went to break, that I'm going to be talking about the Chicago Cubs, but went a little long in that last segment there talking about the Chicago White Sox. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to pull an audible and just get into a little bit, because, quite honestly, I've only got about 4 minutes, and being on the radio, gabbing and everything, time management is not one of my stronger suits. But, might as well just get this in and out of the way. So last night, the Chicago took the floor against the Toronto Raptors, losing 139-109. And, well, let's see what we can see about this. Let's see, what did Modest do? He had 19 points, 7 rebounds. Where did Giddey fit in? He only had 9 points. So it seems like when came to town, and make no mistake about it, the Toronto Raptors are a pretty damn good team, considering the fact that, where are they? Yeah, they are fifth in the Eastern Conference, and they're definitely trying to catch up with the Cleveland Cavaliers, who the Chicago Bulls are playing tonight at home at the UC. And, yeah, so they definitely came in with the idea of, kicking the ever-loving Smurf out of the Chicago Bulls last night. And, well, they did exactly that. One of the bright spots for the Chicago Bulls, you have to really want to see it. But, hey, apparently, and not just apparently, that little guy, the smallest guy in the association, he wears number 8. Yuki Karamura. Well, he played 8 minutes, got 5 points, was 50% from field goal. He hit 3 of 4 from the free throw line. He had a rebound. He had 2 assists, also 2 turnovers. But hey, he was a +8 on the floor. And this is one of those dealios going forward. The two-way player, the two-way Japanese player, Yuki Karamura. He's developing quite the following at the United Center. And Adam Amin, Stacey King, they talked about it on the broadcast last night, where when he was announced to come in the game, the United Center absolutely went berserk. As I talked about on yesterday's show on Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM, you have to really, you have to pick your viewing pleasure right now with the Chicago Bulls. I mentioned it yesterday. I do believe I mentioned it yesterday. If not yesterday, the day before, when I was talking about the Chicago Unbelievables. And to get off of my stump, to get off the pulpit of bashing the Chicago Bulls, because they're not making the playoffs. They're not even making the play-in tournament. Well, at least that's something new, right? At least it's something new for this year. But as a Bulls fan, you got to look at Modest Buzelis, who did decent last night, scoring 19 points. Josh Giddey, not so much, but I'm sure he was like the main focus of the Toronto Raptors last night. And then you got Yuki Karamura. But then also another bright spot is a couple of players that were in the trade or in the mass exodus for the Chicago Bulls this year. Rob Dillingham, Colin Sexton, 15 and 14 points respectively. So, hey, good on them for coming to the Chicago Bulls, putting on their gym shoes, and playing, because they weren't getting a whole hell of a lot of time where they were currently playing for before. This is Big Top Sports. You're listening to WRMN 1410.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My Grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing.
Hey, and thanks for watching, Brendan. I do appreciate it. Yes, you are definitely, without a doubt, one of the most loyal listeners and viewers of WRMN 1410. And as always, I appreciate you when you come on. You watch the shows. I know Susie C is your favorite because, well, she's my favorite as well. And I will be right back. And Todd, there are 7 likes there on the YouTube, but I'm going to send this to commercial because I think I need to take care of some business.
Time to talk, a message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 5 o'clock.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby. Brought to you by USPS Ground Advantage. State-funded financial aid for undocumented students is facing renewed scrutiny as federal education rules tighten. More than a dozen states offer aid based on residency or attendance, but critics question the cost and use of taxpayer funds. Illinois lawmakers have introduced the POWER Act to regulate new data centers across the state. Capital News Illinois reports the proposal targets energy use, water impact, and environmental concerns and could require centers to generate their own renewable energy. Illinois Democrats have picked a new generation of congressional nominees after an expensive primary season. 5 open seat races drew about $125 million in total spending, fueled by retirements, including Senator Dick Durbin. I'm Ryan Gatenby with your news flash.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Progressive knows you think the grass is always greener, like maybe you ride a motorcycle. But today, it's raining. So you wish you had an RV, but if you did, you'd have to listen to some guy parked next to it at a campsite plays acoustic guitar. Now, before you start wishing you had a boat, remember, your brother-in-law would invite himself every weekend.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
But one thing that is greener is the money you could save when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby. Brought to you by KFC. Illinois Democrats have picked a new generation of congressional nominees after an expensive primary season. 5 open seat races drew about $125 million in total spending, fueled by retirements, including Senator Dick Durbin. State-funded financial aid for undocumented students is facing renewed scrutiny as federal education rules tighten. More than a dozen states offer aid based on residency or attendance, but critics question the cost and use of taxpayer funds. Illinois lawmakers have introduced the Power Act to regulate new data centers across the state. Capital News Illinois reports the proposal targets energy use, water impact, and environmental concerns and could require centers to generate their own renewable energy. I'm Ryan Gatenby with your news flash.
The tournament is here, and Total Wine & More is your slam dunk headquarters. Whether you're cheering courtside from your couch with crisp craft beers, smooth cabs, or refreshing seltzers, we've got the perfect lineup to keep your watch party winning. And just like your bracket, we've got a lineup full of contenders. Whether you're picking favorites or going for bold upsets, our friendly guides will help you find amazing drinks for every matchup. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Brought to you by Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blade. This afternoon, sunny with a high near 61. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 40. Looking ahead to Friday, partly sunny skies with a high near 60. Friday night will be mostly cloudy with a low around 38. Currently, it's 54 and clear. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Spring Sale and get 35% off paints and stains March 13th through the 23rd. Whether you're refreshing your interior or exterior, we've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online to have it delivered or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
Are you looking to buy, sell, or trade something? Maybe clean out that attic or basement, or just make a little extra cash? Then don't miss Tradio on Out to Lunch with WRMN AM 1410. Weekdays at 12:30 p.m. Call in to let folks in the Fox River Valley know what you're looking for or what you've got to get rid of. It's easy, it's free, and it's a great way to connect with your community. Call in at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. If it's got to go, then let us know. Only on Tradio, here on WRMN AM 1410. Looking for the perfect midday pick-me-up? Tune in on Out to Lunch on WRMN AM 1410. Weekdays at midday. Out to Lunch brings a fresh, energetic look at local life, diving into the stories, events, and conversations shaping our community. From lively talk and new discoveries to real voices from around town. It's the perfect mix of entertainment, information, and hometown spirit. Listen on WRMN AM 1410 or watch us live on youtube.com at WRMN Radio. Out to Lunch. Spice up your midday morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derrick Geyer, your sports czar. The game's the place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big Time Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back in to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And what do we got going on? Hey, you want to be a part of the sporting conversation? Feel free to call in at 847-931-1410. That is 847-931-1410. You could also see my lovely rock star face on youtube.com/@WRMN radio. That's youtube.com/@WRMN radio. Check me out on the YouTube, the Tube of Views. Give me a like, give me that thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. I do greatly appreciate that, as everyone else here does at the station as well, and all the other shows that we got going on. And finally, I was able to come across the Susie C question of the day. So go to the WRMN Facebook page, check out the Susie C question of the day. She is your morning host with David Tees as well. So Susie C, David Tees, live on these very airwaves here on WRMN 1410 AM every morning from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And tomorrow's Feel Good Friday's question is, what is something from your past you wish you could go back and experience again? That is very interesting. You know, a couple of things that I wish I could experience again. Well, I don't know if y'all out there are familiar or not, but playing at Soldier Field. Oh, that would be one. Oh, wait. Playing twice at Comiskey Park. What? Yes, twice. Comiskey Park. Oh, yeah, playing at Wrigley Field as well. That was pretty cool. All in high school. All for Lane Tech. Lane Tech. Well, of course, it was Lane Technical High School. Now I think it's Lane Tech Prep. College Prep. Lane Tech College Prep now. And they got the Kerry Wood Field right behind the stadium there on Addison. So that was something. Also, what else? What else would I like to experience again? Those would be 4 highlights right there, because, I mean, who can say, I mean, other than big leaguers and football players and NFLers or NBA players, I mean, and the guys that were on my respective teams back then, who else can say that they've actually played at those venues? And to do it twice at Comiskey Park. Now, the rate. But, yeah, that was pretty fun. And that's, I'm not bragging, but I'm bragging. If you want to be honest, or I'm honest about it. I try to be honest here on Big Top Sports with y'all out there. But like I said, going to be talking about Cubs right now. If you want to get in on the sporting action, that's 847-931-1410, 847-931-1410. All right. A couple of notable things before I get into the Matt Shaw, Seiya Suzuki, all that fun Smurf. So before the opening day roster is finalized, and there's still a few games left on the spring training roster, probably going to be a few meaningless games come the weekend before everyone heads back, before the Chicago Cubs head back here and play and open at Wrigley Field. Oh, great googly moogly. Can anyone say snow day? Hopefully not. But let's see. Again, the Cubs optioned left-hander Luke Little. Dude, not so little. That is an oxymoron in it of itself. Because anyone that knows or has been paying attention, Luke Little is a big boy. The dude is like 6'8", And, well, close to like 3 bills. Anyway. But here's I mean, dude throws gas. Dude doesn't know where the ball is going, unfortunately. So, yeah. Bye-bye, Mr. Little, Mr. Big Little. Big Luke Little. Yeah, there we go. It's kind of like jumbo shrimp, right? Anyway, we also have Justin Dean. He was optioned to AAA as well. You know, if you are familiar with that, I'm sorry, not Luke Little. Justin Dean, he was part of the World Series champion LA Dodgers last year, who played a kind of a pivotal role in them getting past and eking it out. But so Justin Dean, outfielder, he was optioned. The outfielder struggled this spring with a 480 OPS in spring training, leading to the reassignment. You also had Ryan Rollison, left-handed pitcher. He was kind of part of the move to, go back to the AAA bullpen, solidifying the Cubs bullpen there. You also had catchers Ariel Elmas and Casey Appitz, outfielder Brett Bateman, and right-hander Vince Velasquez. They were also returned to minor league camp to further up because, well, baseball season is right around the corner, starts next week. Minor leagues, if I'm not mistaken, they don't start until, I believe, the first week of April, maybe the middle of April. I need to look at that. Sorry, my bad. But this is also a good thing for the Chicago Cubs and Cubs fandom out there, and I'll explain that in a little moment or two. Let's see. As far as the roster depth, infielder Benjamin Cowles, he was sent down, and then they're also trying to figure out what they're doing as far as like the final bullpen spots. I do believe I have the finalized roster. If not, that'll be coming up in the next couple of days. But I gotta check on the Google machine here. But part of what is kind of interesting with the Chicago Cubs, and I said just moments ago that this is a good thing with the Chicago Cubs. Well, it means that their roster is pretty much set. Their roster is set. They are propping open, and all the sporting pundits, the talking heads, kind of consider that this is the World Series window for the Chicago Cubs with this particular team. And while yes, this is the World Series window-ish, and I say ish because I need to see what the team is going to do. And maybe I am still suffering from PTSD. Maybe I shouldn't be suffering from PTSD, but this is the kind of thing that comes with being a Chicago Cubs fan. The expectations sometimes far outwork or outpace what the results are. Now, I was very pleased that the Chicago Cubs made the postseason last year. Having led the Central Division in the NL for a large majority of the season, only to be overtaken by the Milwaukee Brewers. Okay, fine, there's that. But they did actually make it into the playoffs. Won a series against the San Diego Padres. Great. Now it's time to go on and win that divisional round series. not settle for the wild card, to have the home games at Wrigley Field in September, hopefully going into October, or I'm sorry, in October going into November, hopefully. But with the injury to Seiya Suzuki last week in the WBC game, with Team Japan going up against Team Italia, whether or not Seiya is going to be healthy enough, because he had an MRI on Monday, still he is suffering from a PCL strain, which basically means that, he can't really do all of the baseball activity stuff. And let's pump the brakes a little bit. And you don't necessarily need Seiya to go out there and contribute right away this season. Now, while he did have a killer Japan-ish series, or he killed it for Team Japan in the WBC, in the very beginning of the WBC, and in my opinion, against lesser competition in the WBC, and he was hitting Godzilla-like bombs in the WBC, it still needed to, translate for myself up against players that are playing in MLB, which is something that I wanted to see. And unfortunately, only got to see him take that walk against Team Italy moving on, in the WBC. I digress on that part. And the reason why I digress on that part is, well, as far as, here, let's pull this up. And as far as the depth chart is concerned with who is starting, you got Michael Bush, or I'm sorry, let's go down to left field, right field. Okay, so right now, Matt Shaw is number 2 on the Chicago Cubs depth chart as far as right field goes. Ooh, boy. Great googly moogly. You know what? I'm going to save that for the other side. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer, and I will be back in a few.
Now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com is the book called DUI Jury Trial, which is
Oh, of course it was the hero, or the Italian sandwich. Man, ooh. Now you just made my mouth water again right there, Dan. Oh, yes, I am. Yeah. Oof. I don't know what it was about their sandwiches other than them being cheap, but that Italian sandwich, and I don't like it with the oil and vinegar on it. I do like it with the flakes and everything that they did put on it, but I needed my sandwich to have, it was the Italian extra cheese, actually both kinds of cheese. So you had the mozzarella, or I'm sorry, the provolone and the American. And then, hey, do me a favor, slather that with mayo and mustard. And ooh, mwah, chef's kiss. So, yes, definitely that. And it's just an absolute shame that, they closed down. I do believe that the building is still there, but, man, anyone that went to Lane back in the day, that was definitely one of those prime spots because, it's like basically like a 10, 12-inch sandwich, and you get it for like $5. And that was back then. Now everything's like 12, 14, 15 bucks. Holy Smurf. don't want that. It looks like I'll be coming back in about a minute. Of course, you can't go wrong with the roast beef sandwich from there either. I mean, even though it was cold, because I mean, it's a sandwich shop. It's not like you get like a five, what is it? 3 seconds. To be continued.
America.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And continuing to talk about, well, the injury to Seiya Suzuki. I'm pretty sure he's going to miss the first week of the season. That has not been confirmed nor denied, but he is suffering from a PCL strain from that injury that he suffered in the World Baseball Classic. So that leaves like a couple of holes, if you will. Or more accurately, where is the fill-in, or who is going to fill in for Matt Shaw? Or not Matt Shaw, Seiya Suzuki. Matt Shaw, who was basically being tabbed as the super utility player for the Chicago Cubs, because, well, hello, Alex Bregman. You're not going to, thankfully, the Cubs did not trade Nico Hoerner in the offseason. So, second base is covered. Gold Glover. Dansby Swanson is at short. Gold Glover. Alex Bregman, third base. New acquisition. Big ticket free agent signing. That's covered. And you also have Michael Busch at first, even though that they've been experimenting with Matt Shaw playing a little bit of first base. Okay. Well, he is going to need to bring a lot of gloves, and we're going to have, as Cubs fans, a lot of patience, if you will, if Matt Shaw is going to be playing out in the outfield. Because let's see. You go down the depth chart as far as the starting 8 goes for the Chicago Cubs. You've got Matt Shaw backing up Nico Hoerner at second. You've got Matt Shaw backing up Alex Bregman at third. You've got Matt Shaw backing up both Nico Hoerner and Dansby Swanson at short. He is also backing up Ian Happ in left behind Seiya Suzuki. Well, he's hurt. Then you also have Matt Shaw backing up Seiya Suzuki in right. There are a lot of places where Matt Shaw is going to be expected to play this year. Now, if you're familiar with the movie not Ron. If you are familiar with the movie Moneyball, and that quote from Ron Washington in said movie, and Ron Washington is also a former Major League Baseball manager. I do believe former, but if not, he's a Major League Baseball lifer. And in that movie Moneyball, where he's talking to Chris Pratt, who is playing Scott Hatteberg, first base is an extremely difficult, and I'm paraphrasing here because I don't remember the movie quote, is an extremely difficult position to learn how to play. One, you got to deal with runners at first. You got to deal with foot positioning. You got to get your ass out and cover your fielding circle, if you will, after you've done or you are holding the runner on base at first. Then you got to figure out, well, where's the ball going? Smash to the left, smash to the right, whatever. Turning a double play. You know, doing the 3-4-3 double play. Or the 3-6-3 double play. Or figuring out if you need to get the hell out of your second baseman's way so he could field the ball cleanly and have the pitcher hopefully covering the bag at first. That's just some of the stuff that a first baseman needs to do and do at a decent job and hopefully not butcher it. Oh, yeah, you also need to pick it, Wilson. Pick the ball up out of the ground when the infielders are throwing it to you. Hopefully it's a nice Sunday hop, but you know, you need to scoop it. You need to get in there. You need to do that job. And then as Jason Hayward was saying, former Cubs outfielder, former Cubs elite right fielder, was saying that in his, and I'm paraphrasing again, right field at Wrigley Field is the most difficult position to play, or one of the more difficult outfielding positions to play in all of baseball, because at night you got to contend with the lights. In the daytime, you got to contend with the setting sun. Oh yeah, and you also have to contend with the wind, where it can change and blow in any which way direction at all possible. Which brings me to maybe, just maybe, Kevin Alcantara starting there on opening day. But that's not until next week. And you are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby.
Gordon Tech, not Golden Tech. The Rams. I once took a night class over there at Gordon Tech. What is it? DePaul College Prep now, I do believe. Or maybe it's Loyola Prep or something over there. Man, I got to get better at doing these segments. That's just me being me. Like, holy smurf, look at the time. It flew by. And then I'm still rambling about like the rosters and everything. When I am trying to bring both things into, or both sporting teams, both baseball teams from the north and south side of the city and give them equal amount of time. I know more about the Cubs because I pay attention to the Cubs a little bit more. And yet I can talk baseball, or at least Chicago baseball, ad nauseum here because that's my jam. That's my thing. I get psyched for it. And I am very appreciative of this past WBC, even though, well, I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to get pissy. But, yeah. Oh, let's see. Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. My goodness, that is still delicious. Get rid of that. know what that was. What was your favorite sandwich at Heroes? They definitely got a lot, or gave a lot, I should say. 10, 12. Oh, that's tomorrow, yesterday. I think I'll just do that. That is a solid sandwich there, Brendan.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland. Football frenzy and hoops so high. Baseball swinging as seasons fly. Hockey blades cutting swift and true. Sports carousel spinning just for you. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And if you want to be a part of this sporting conversation or you want to bring something new to the table, feel free to call in at 847-931-1410. That is 847-931-1410. And also check out my studly face. No, not really. On YouTube. That is youtube.com/@WRMN Radio, youtube.com/WRMN Radio. And also check out the WRMN Facebook page where you've got the one, the only Susie C. posing the question of what is something from your past you wish you could go back and experience again? I'm not gonna flex it again. I mean, playing in 3 major league caliber stadiums when I was in high school, that would probably have to be at the top of the list. Oh, I guess I kind of just flexed it now, didn't I? But anyway, yes. So there's that, and yes, I'd love me some hero sandwiches over there at Western and Addison. Heroes, oh, miss something absolutely fierce. I don't know what made it so good about the Heroes over there. I think it was the bread. I think it was definitely the bread, but man, they certainly gave you a lot of stuff, and it was for cheap too. I mean, back in my day. some 32 years or so ago, class of 94, over there at Lane Tech. Yeah, that was some good eating. I mean, there was also a Checkers over there. There was the Wendy's. There was the Popeyes. Things have changed a little bit. There was that Dive Arcade across the street from the campus as well. It was so that was pretty fun. Oh, yeah, and do me a favor, don't forget this, but throughout the regular baseball season, the Chicago White Sox will be on these very airwaves. WRMN 1410 AM brings you the Good Karma Brands broadcast, where we will have not every single White Sox game, but we will have a majority of the Chicago White Sox games here on WRMN 1410 AM. And starting with the Sweet 16 NCAA men's and women's basketball tourney, we will be carrying those games as well. And speaking of the NCAA tournament, well, if you didn't know, the first four, and this is where it gets like a little whatever for me, but hey, the NCAA tournament, the first four. So I guess technically speaking, it was like the first 68 or the round of 68. No. It's the first four. It's where the four bubble teams play against one another. So you had number 16, Howard, beating number 16, UMBC. I can't even pretend that I know what school name that is. The UMBC Retrievers. Okay, cool. So the Howard Bison beat the UMBC Retrievers by the score of 86-83. And then you had the Texas Longhorns defeating NC State 68-66, which leads us in to the tournament there. And then the other first four, you had Prairie View beating Lehigh by the score of 67-55 yesterday. And then Miami of Ohio, after much consternation of whether or not Miami of Ohio deserved to be in the tourney, well, they cashed their ticket yesterday to get into the tourney by defeating SMU yesterday. The SMU Mustangs Chalet. So there was that. Going around the rest of the tourney here, you had TCU, number 9, TCU beating Ohio State today by the score of 66-64. You had number 4, Nebraska destroying number 13, Troy. You also had number 6, Louisville defeating South Florida by the score of 83-79. What else do we have? We've got number 12, High Point, narrowly squeaking out against the Wisconsin number 5 Badgers, 83-82. Well, there might be a bracket buster right there. And then the aforementioned number 16, Siena, taking on number 1, Duke. Duke handling business, 71-65. You got number 5, Vanderbilt, taking care of McNeese State, 78-68. You also have number 3, Michigan State, kicking the hell out of North Dakota State by the score of 92-67. Arkansas defeated Hawaii. Number 4, Arkansas, taking care of number 13, Hawaii, by the score of 97-78. And later on today, it is also going to be number 6 taking on number 11, VCU. Or I'm sorry, number 6, UNC, University of North Carolina, taking on VCU. Those games will commence at 5:50, so just about the time that I'm about to get off the air. And hey, number 16, Howard, congratulations. You go up against number 1, Michigan, starting at 6:10 tonight. So, yeah, nice. You know, there's one game in here that I kind of wanted to take a look at, and it's going to be Hofstra. And the only reason why I'm circling this Hofstra versus Alabama, well, one, it's kind of mishmash, mallywash, give your kitty a bone. I don't know. I don't even know where that came up with, why that came in and out of my head like that. But regardless, the only reason why I kind of want to take a look at this game right here is because, okay, number 4, Alabama, man, the critics of whether or not they wanted to be or not that Alabama deserves to be number 4, okay, there's that. But then it's also Alabama. So I think it has something to do with the fact that, well, it's Alabama. I don't necessarily enjoy them in football. I don't enjoy Alabama sports all that much because everyone from that part of the country, Alabama, Georgia, whatever, Mississippi, just cram it down your cram holes. And yeah, I don't like it. It's kind of the same way that I view, here's a hot take. Notre Dame and their athletics. I could feel the consternation, pitchforks and venom and everything. Yeah, I don't really care. I don't care. I don't care about the Irish. I don't care about Alabama. And it's nothing against these schools. It's just I had absolutely no rooting interest with, the biggish schools. I mean, yeah, certain players. It's like I liken it to a kid growing up now where, hey, you may be in Chicago, but who's your favorite baseball player? Maybe Aaron Judge. Maybe the unicorn, Shohei Ohtani. Maybe Mike Trout. I don't know. Or maybe it's Bobby Witt Jr. Or I have absolutely no idea. Justin Verlander. I'm just naming names here. But it's one of those deals where, okay, I could pay attention to a sporting event. I can watch it. Okay, I know this is a very unpopular take, especially with me having the sports show, Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. But let's call a spade a spade. There is so much stuff out here. There are so many sporting teams out here. So much finite time here on the radio. And I'm lucky to have enough time to talk about this Monday through Friday. Speaking of which, little programming note for Big Top Sports is that one Mr. Andrew Scheid, my typical co-host for Mondays, he was not on this past Monday, but that's all right, will be in studio covering for me after tomorrow's Chicago White Sox game. So very happy to have him filling the hot seat here, filling the sports take on WRMN 1410 AM. And but looking forward to, doing a little work tomorrow afternoon, having a little bit of an early, well, it's not really an early weekend because I also got to work on Saturday, just for the simple fact that, my goodness graciousness, this weather this week, last couple of weeks, these last 2-3 weeks has been absolutely up and down. I mean, that snowstorm that happened on my B-Day on Monday, yeah, that kind of threw like a monkey in the wrench, or a monkey wrench into the, the proverbial cogs and stuff. Yeah, so, yeah, snow day. Oh, need to catch up on the bills. Anyway, I digress. This is Big Top Sports. More sports on the other side. WRMN 1410 AM, back in a few.
Elgin isn't just a city. It's a community built on connection, innovation, and opportunity. And at the heart of it all...
Yes, indeed it is. Yeah, but to go off on my diatribe, if you will, it's just one of those things where it's like, well, I didn't go to any of the big name colleges, so I don't necessarily have like a rooting interest. Even though there's DePaul in the backyard, there's Northwestern in the backyard, and the only reason why I would be rooting for Northwestern football is because my dad rooted for Northwestern football. Probably another reason why I dislike the Irish was because it's always been all front and center as far as sports are concerned, or more aptly, football is concerned. Because there they are, they aren't part of any, Big Ten or SEC or whatever, and all that fun, Smurf stuff. But it's just right there in front of you, and anyone that's if you just right there slamming it in your face. And I kind of go, I've been like this since I've younger, and I can't necessarily change it at this stage of life. But yeah, and I'm also like that with, television programs as well. Oh my God, this is the best thing going. Oh, The Walking Dead, you got to see this. You got to watch this. This is the best thing ever. Oh, Tombstone. Well, Tombstone was good, and it had like a couple of, ish seasons. I enjoyed, Tombstone. I'm sorry, Yellowstone. Yellowstone, that's what I meant. But yeah. So that's my rationale behind it. But if you are a fan of, Alabama, Georgia, whatever, Notre Dame, so be it. I'm not here to yuck your yum. I mean, if you're a fan of, the St. Louis Sox Cardinals, then, well, that's your problem because, and I say that out of love because, Chicago Cubs fan. If you're a fan of the Minnesota Sox Twins, well, that's your problem. Or the Cleveland Sox Guardians. I can't believe I actually pulled the Guardians out of my ass. But regardless. Oh, let's see.
7.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And I want to thank the people that make this Smurf show run and contribute to it. So thank you to my host, or kind of call-in host on Tuesdays, Mr. Marcus Mack from The Truth About Chicago Sports. You could hear his show here on these very airwaves every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., followed by David Tease's weekend sports show on the Tease with Tease. I think that's what it is. Hey, if not, hey, you're welcome. Where David Tease talks about the local golf courses, gets out there, plays around, talks about it. That is from 9 until 10. And then obviously you've got the staple of Saturday morning sports shows here on WRMN 1410 with On the Rise with Mike Napolitano, Nick Johnston, Dalton Cooper and company, where they are definitely doing the legwork. Go out and check them out as well, but they are on the air from 10 until noon. They are also going out at various events in and around the sporting world here in, whether it be at the, Chicago Wolves, whether it be the Ice Hogs, et cetera, and with baseball looming right around the corner, obviously the Chicago White Sox, Kane County Cougars, the Boomers as well, and then a myriad of other places. They're going to be out at so many different places that you're probably going to get sick and tired of looking at Mike Napolitano's perfectly coiffed Italiano hair. Oh, and by the way, Mr. Napolitano, it's sauce. So bite me. Anyway, and that goes for you too, Susie C. It is sauce. It is not gravy. But that comes from the different locale of where our families originated from in Italia. So if I wanted to play for Team Italia, I could have, but that ship has long since sailed. I can't. I could hit a 90-mile-an-hour fastball back in the day when 90 miles an hour was considered fast. I'd probably get killed, trying to hit one of those 101-mile-an-hour fastballs or whatever. Hey, Jeff, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for everyone that was tuning in on youtube.com at WRMN Radio. And then, of course, don't forget to tune in to tomorrow's morning show with Susie C. and David Tees. And look it up on the WRMN Facebook page, where Susie C's question of the day is, what is something from your past you wish you could go back and experience again? Absolutely go and check that out. We're going to put it up there for you to see. And I'm gonna yes, really big topper sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with what's the fastest pitch ever recorded? I'm going to go 100. You know what? Why don't I? Sure, why not? What is the fastest pitch ever recorded in history? Okay, without looking at it, I'm going to say it is about like 106 miles per hour. And I don't know why I am thinking that it would be that way, but I do believe that is somewhere in the neighborhood of what it is. So let me see. According to, I was slightly correct. So according to this AI overview, it was Aroldis Chapman. Dude is still pitching, by the way. He holds the record for the fastest officially recorded pitch in Major League Baseball history. And that was at 105.8 miles per hour. And that was thrown all the way back on September 24th of 2010 for the Cincinnati Reds. This also makes that pitch a Guinness World Record and was measured shortly after release with the quote-unquote Cuban missile, also dominating the StatCast era with multiple pitches over 105 miles an hour. Holy smurf. But actually, I thought that there was another player out there, and that's also, Fox Sports and 4 other sources there as well. But I also thought that there was a kid that was coming up that threw something along or threw near or somewhere near 108 miles an hour. or close to like 110 miles per hour. So there's that as well. I mean, with the way sports and technology and training and health, I am sure that things are going to progress to where there's going to be another flamethrower that is definitely going to top 105.8 miles per hour. I know it's been, 16 years since Chapman did it, but we have more MLB pitchers that are throwing in the hundreds. 102, 103, 104. I mean, Mason Miller, the closer for the San Diego Padres. He did it last year against the Chicago Cubs in the playoffs. So it's bound to happen. Hey, thank you for tuning in this week on Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. Without you listening out there in Radioland, there is no me behind this mic. And I appreciate every single one that helps get me through the car speaker in or however way that you are listening to my voice. Have a great weekend. And tune in tomorrow for Andrew Scheid covering for me on Big Top Sports. Have a great rest of your day on WRMN.
Real estate, be it residential or commercial, is often a person's most significant and priciest asset.
Well, I'm not exactly sure who is next, Jeff. They've been playing the replay, or Sonar's been playing the replay of the news that has typically been being played at the 6 o'clock hour. So there's a replay at that. Then I think it goes into his apolitical talk show at 7. Either that or it's going to be David Tease talking with some political candidates. It's one of those things that since I've moved to this spot, there's been basically, not necessarily lineup shifting around. But I haven't necessarily been able to nail down from one day to the next of who's coming on, what's going on. And so you asked a question, I give you the answer. It may not be the answer that you are looking for, but it is the answer that I have currently. So with that being said, yeah. It is what it is, and yeah. But exciting stuff coming here with WRMN, and I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you calling in on yesterday's program, and just let me know. Let me know if you do actually want to come in the studio next week. But I do need to kind of nail down Bob's schedule because with him working, I'm not going to deny him studio time for actually having a job in production and doing production sports. So we're shooting that. But thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your week, and have a great weekend. Derrick Geyer, Big Top Sports. Talk to you next week.
Your bracket.